evening, Chestnut Grove. Gonna say we'll just wait till the sanctuary fills up, but I think we better go ahead and get started because I got a decently long presentation tonight, so we'll go ahead and get started. They can just come on in as they come on in. Don't laugh at me, Tina. Do not laugh at me, Tina. All right, let's stand together and sing "What a Day That Will Be." Now, 1, 2.
See, and I look upon his face, the one who saved me by his grace, when he takes me by the hand and leads me through the promised land. What a day, glorious day that will be. Oh, the King is coming, the King is coming. I just heard the trumpet sounding, and now his face I see. Oh, the King is coming, the King is coming. Praise God, he's coming for me.
You may be seated. The one announcement that I want to kind of bring to your attention tonight is that on October the 7th, on a Monday night, author Jeff Kinley will be here. He is an expert on end times, otherwise known as eschatology, which is the study of end times, prophecy, and all the like. And honestly, the reason that I'm talking about what I'm talking about tonight is kind of to whet your appetite, to get your mind going, if you will, to spur you on to ask your friends and your enemies and everybody you know to be here on that Monday night for Jeff. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna be using some of Jeff's quotes tonight. But that's the big thing I've got going. Any other announcements we need to talk about tonight, make known to everybody? Everything else is good? All right. The next hymn, which is our offertory hymn, is "What If It Were Today." So let's stand again and sing "What If It Were Today." 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Jesus is coming to earth again. What if it were today? Coming in power and love to reign. What if it were today? Coming to claim his chosen bride, all the redeemed and the purified, over this whole world scattered wide. What if it were today?
lead us in a prayer tonight?
Which one? Which one?
And before, go ahead and stay standing. Whoa, what y'all doing sitting down? I didn't tell y'all can sit down. Now we're going to sing one of my favorite Andre Crouch tunes, Soon and Very Soon. A one and a two.
Soon and very soon we are going to see the King. Soon and very soon we are going to see the King. Soon and very soon we are going to see the King. Hallelujah, hallelujah, we're going to see the King. No more crying, no more crying there. We are going to see the King. No more crying there. We are going to see the King. No more crying there. We are going to see the King. Hallelujah, hallelujah. We're going to see the King.
And all God's people said, amen. I can't wait to see him. You may be seated. I understand what Bruce said there, that it can be scary stuff, but I will say this, that if you're pre-tribulation or pre-tribulation, millennial kind of person, it's not scary to us, or at least it shouldn't be, because we'll be gone. We'll be out of here. But I think we need to be aware of what is going on. And so what my thought process was this. Technology for the tribulation. How today's technology is bringing us closer to the arrival of the Antichrist. I thought to myself, I said, okay, if I'm Satan and I'm getting ready to come back, what technology is available to me to use to allow me to control the earth? What technology is out there to allow me to control the entire world? Because unlike God, Satan is not omniscient, omnipresent, or omnipowerful. Omnipotent, omniscient, or omnipresent. He's not any of those three. So he needs help to do his work when he gets here, him and the Antichrist and the false prophet. So I went to digging, and we're going to start. Go ahead and flip to the next screen there, and we'll take our text for tonight. Go ahead and stand up, if you will, and we'll read this text. It's from Revelation chapter 13, verses 16 through 18. It also forced all people, great and small, rich and poor, free and slave, to receive a mark on their right hands or on their foreheads, so that they could not buy or sell unless they had the mark, which is the name of the beast or the number of its name. This calls for wisdom. Let the person who has insight calculate the number of the beast, for it is the number of man. That is the number 666. Let's pray. Dear Heavenly Father, your word is very specific as to the fact that you're coming back one day. But your word is also very specific in that there will be 7 years of tribulation on this earth where Satan will rule and he will reign, and you will give him leash to do that before you come back again, and then you set your foot on Mount Olive, and then you begin your millennial reign, and you bind him for 1,000 years. And so, Father, we just want to look at what we think might be the tools of the Antichrist when he makes his appearance on earth and how we might be wise to that, because we're surrounded by people that will not be caught up in the rapture, and we need to be aware of this so we can warn them and tell them that they need to come to a saving knowledge of your Son, Jesus Christ, before it's too late. In Christ's name we ask it. Amen. Now, we're going to look at 5 different tools that I believe Satan could use when he makes his appearance in the form of the Antichrist. And the first one is RFID chip implants. The second one is cryptocurrency / Bitcoin and a one world currency. The third is a patent that Microsoft took out in 2020 at the beginning of the COVID-19 epidemic, the 666 patent. The next thing is Neuralink, which is something by Elon Musk, and a product he has called telepathy. And then the last one is artificial intelligence, AI. And we're just going to take these one by one and kind of explain them and explain how it might be possible for the Antichrist to use these things as he makes his appearance, when he makes his appearance. RDIF chips, radio frequency identification chips, have been around for a long time. They're not new. RDIF uses electromagnetic fields to automatically identify and track tags for chips attached to objects. They've been putting them in animals for a long time. But now the RFDI chips are being used in humans. The first company I know to officially do it was up in Wisconsin. I don't remember the name of the firm, and I didn't go to the trouble to look it up. But some firms have made RFDI chip implants available to their employees with an implanted chip, and the employees can wave a hand to open doors, pay for food in the cafeteria, and gain access to copy machines or whatever else they need to in that particular business. Now, the next point says, and this is kind of where it affects end times prophecy, for the reader of the Bible, an RFDI chip sounds suspiciously like the mark of the beast prophesied in Revelation, especially given that most transponder implants are being placed in a person's right hand. Like I say, that's where they're putting them. And you know, if you've watched James Bond and all these other things like that, they've been doing that for a long time. And that's the way they keep up with dogs, and that's the way they keep up with people. So it's nothing new. But nevertheless, the technology, as it says, technology similar to RFID may be what the Antichrist will use to mark people during the tribulation, for 2 reasons. And we'll talk about it a little bit more in depth later. But an RFDI chip could be exactly what the mark of the beast will be. The technology is already here because he can use that to tell where everybody's at. And you can't buy or sell unless you have that chip in your wrist or on your forehead. So that is what RFDI chips are. They're not new. They've been here a while. But yet, nevertheless, it's something that could be used. If I were the Antichrist, that's what I would be thinking about using. If I were Satan, that's what I'd be thinking about using. Now, let's skip on down to cryptocurrency and the one world currency. The idea of a one world currency is vaguely suggested in the Bible in Revelation 13, 16 through 17. That's what we just read. It says the Antichrist will require everyone to have a mark of the beast to engage in any financial transactions. It's unknown what exactly the mark will be, but it's entirely possible that some type of cryptocurrency will be involved. So what's cryptocurrency? It's possible that the mark of the beast will be what will allow people to access the cryptocurrency in their virtual accounts, One man in Iceland already has implanted a chip in his hand to access his bitcoins. Next screen there, girl. What's the most famous cryptocurrency? Bitcoin. Well, as you know or may not know, Bitcoin crashed here not too long ago. I mean, the value of it went down, and everybody said, well, that's the end of that. Well, not really. It's still out there. But crypto, the part crypto of cryptocurrency refers to heavy cryptography encoding used to request, confirm, or record the transactions within the context of a decentralized system. Now, what does that mean? It means that these parties around the world that use cryptocurrency can do all their buying, selling, trading, and all that stuff without the assistance of a third party. PayPal, Visa, banks, the federal government, aka cash, to validate the worth of the currency. In other words, it completely skips all the traditional things that we have thought about that were important to pay for things, aka credit cards, aka cash, PayPal, anything like this where you do Apple Pay. All that's skipped. It's just bypassed completely. Bitcoin was created in 2009, so as you see, it's not extremely new either. I mean, it's been around a while, and is the most popular form of cryptocurrency. From the beginning, Bitcoin became the currency of choice for many in the web's black market, aka the dark web. Why? Well, they can't trace it. There's no middleman to trace it. They used it to buy and sell drugs, weapons, stolen art, and to engage in human trafficking. Many who engage in ransomware. Bruce, you've heard of ransomware, haven't you, buddy? If you know what ransomware is, you know that people can hold you hostage or hold your computer system hostage, and you got to pay them money, or they're going to never let you use your computer system again. And I'm like, that'll never happen to me. Well, it didn't happen to me, but it happened to one of my suppliers. One of my suppliers that supplies me with lawnmowers, lawnmower parts. They got hit, and they got hit hard, and basically they had to pay them a lot of money to get their computer system back. And that's the kind of stuff that is being done. So that's what cryptocurrency. Many who engage in ransomware, viruses that threaten to delete the information on your computer unless you demand payment in Bitcoin or some other form of cryptocurrency. They are also popular with people who wish to gamble online on overseas sites, which is illegal in the United States, or to donate to charities that the government doesn't approve of, like WikiLeaks. But over the past few years, more reputable businesses have accepted Bitcoin payment, including Microsoft and Tesla. Two very important names. Remember that, Microsoft and Tesla. So, if you're going to have a one world currency, it's probably going to be in the form of cryptocurrency. And can you imagine in your mind one of the RDIF chips that is implanted in your hand, and you have to use that to access your cryptocurrency when you go to try to purchase food, gas, whatever you need to do. So that's the kind of thing that the Antichrist will use to control you in the tribulation. If you don't have a chip, you can't get a hold of your cryptocurrency. And he's going to control both the cryptocurrency and the access through your chip, because that chip tells everybody in the world where you're at. Okay, next slide, please, dear. The Microsoft 666 patent. In 2019, Bill Gates and Microsoft applied for a patent. This is the patent number. This kind of went under the radar because you know what was happening in the end of 2019, first of 2020? Called COVID. COVID was all the rage, man. We were in quarantine. We couldn't breathe. We couldn't do anything. And so this kind of slipped in under the radar, and nobody noticed it very much. There were a few people that caught it. But look at that, WO. Now, it really doesn't stand for world order, but there is something that very close to world order. So let's just look at that patent number. World Order 2020 06 06 06. What's the odds of that happening by accident, given what we're about to talk about as to what this application entails? Okay, bullet point 2, the application, and this is the title of the application, Cryptocurrency System Using Body Activity Data. That was the patent's name that was applied for to the U.S. Patent Office in Washington, D.C. by the number WO 2020-060606. And that patent was actually applied for in January, I think, of 2020. No, I'm sorry, it was applied for at the end of 2019, my bad. Okay, and what this, when they apply this, when they send for this patent, this is what they say that this patent is, what they're trying to do with it. They want to, excuse me, pardon me, it explains how brain wave or body heat emitted from the user when the user platform performs the task provided by an information service provider, such as viewing an advertisement or an internet service. They can be used in the mining process. Now, mining process, that's for cryptocurrency. When you sell cryptocurrency, that's called mining. I didn't know that. I learned that. But when you go mining for cryptocurrency, you start getting cryptocurrency. That is the way you do it in this process called mining. And Bill Gates and Microsoft were wanting to have that done by this thing that is applied or used in your body to give you that privilege. Bullet point 3. By tracking brain waves when someone watches an advertisement, Microsoft hopes to use the data generated as proof of work. This is the validation of a transaction or the completion of a task in a blockchain system. We'll talk about that in just a second. And the way in which creation of currency is validated in the cryptocurrency model. In other words, this is the way that Microsoft, which controls, them and Apple control all the computer stuff, all the stuff around the world. This is the way they hope to get the cryptocurrency model where everybody has to have this to get cryptocurrency. Now, blockchain system, bullet point 4 there, is distributed data or ledger shared amongst computer network nodes. That's best known for the crucial role in cryptocurrency system for maintaining a secure and decentralized record of transactions, but they're not limited to cryptocurrency uses. Blockchains can be used to make data in any industry immutable, a term they use to describe the inability to alter the data. Now, that's important because we're not talking about Visa. We're not talking about PayPal. We're not talking about money. Blockchain is the way they basically go in there and hardwire that where only the people they want to see it can see it. Otherwise, nobody can see it. So that's what this patent was designed to do. Next screen, please. This is where the rubber hits the road. In order to access this validation data, the human user would need to have a sensor attached. Now, here again, this is all off the patent. I'm not making this stuff up. This is what the patent is they sent to the United States government. The human user would need to have a sensor attached or installed in their body. Microsoft envisions users being rewarded for allowing their bodies to be monitored in this way and paying them in cryptocurrency for performing specific tasks. In other words, you work, they monitor it through this thing or sensor that's attached to your body, and then you get your cryptocurrency payment. That's the only way you get it. A sensor attached to the body could be an RDIF chipped in the hand or wrist or head area. And but now we're going to get, this is where it kind of got spooky to me. This is where it kind of got, I'm like, Dan, man, you messing some stuff. This is not good. The sensor could be a new technology called telepathy. Anybody know what telepathy is? Yes. Anybody ever heard of ESP, extrasensory perception? That's where I talk to Glenn without using hand signals or talk with my mouth. We just communicate brain to brain. That's ESP. That's what telepathy is. There is a new technology called telepathy by a company called Neuralink, owned by Elon Musk. And so we're going to find out some things about Mr. Elon Musk. I'm going to let you watch a short couple-minute clip. This was back, it'll tell you in a minute, but I think it was back in March. And this is from Fox and Friends. Go ahead and hit it there, Vicki. Whoop. We lost you. There we go.
See you later.
He's been on the show.
Yeah. Oh, cool. All right, he should come back.
Why not?
All right, listen to this. This is incredible, guys. We are one step closer to being able to use computers in our brains as Elon Musk's company Neuralink implants a chip into a human patient for the first time.
Todd Pyro joins us with details on how the patient is doing today.
Yeah, good morning to all of you. This is really interesting. Human tech startup Neuralink successfully inserting this chip into the brain of its first human test subject on Sunday. Now, the brain chip is meant to allow people to wirelessly perform computer functions by just thinking of it in sort of a think and click mechanism. Billionaire CEO Elon Musk posting on X yesterday about the cybernetic implant, saying the test subject is recovering well and that, quote, initial results show promising neuron spike detection. Now, the first Neuralink product, called Telepathy, was inserted into a person's brain using a surgical robot. The first users will be people who have lost the use of their limbs. The startup's co-founder telling Bloomberg in November that the short-term goal is to restore autonomy to those with debilitating conditions. The long-term goal is to, quote, have this available for billions of people and unlock human potential and go beyond our biological capabilities. The FDA granted Neuralink approval to proceed with human trials back in May. Elon Musk hopes the brain-computer interface will one day allow people with disabilities to communicate faster than an auctioneer. Back over to you.
It is amazing. Todd, thank you so much.
That would be
Okay, you can flip to the next slide. Okay, that took place in January this year. And I'm going to tell you, things are happening at warp speed. It's just blowing my mind. Elon said that the primary purpose for these things is going to be to help the lame to walk and the blind to see. That sound familiar? Anybody ever heard that terminology before? Came out of Jesus Christ's mouth. Okay, that's what he said was going to happen. Don't overlook bullet point 1 right now. We'll come back to that in a minute. But a brain-computer interface, BCI, Elon Musk company Neuralink surgically implanted a quarter-sized chip into the brain, which allows a person neural activity to control external devices with their thoughts. So basically, this gentleman who, and I watched another video of him, he can sit there and play chess on his computer just by thinking about it. Crazy technology. Now, here's the thing. If he can send a thought pattern out, what's to say who can listen to that thought pattern? If his computer can listen to that thought pattern, who else can listen to that thought pattern? The chip is currently in clinical trials open to patients who are quadriplegic due to ALS or spinal cord injury. So he's trying to make the lame walk first. The billionaire revealed the name of the new product by Neuralink would be called telepathy, and we've already talked about telepathy is a transference of thought from one person to another or one agent to another without the using of the usual sensory channels of communication. Now, I'm going to play something funny and to kind of break the seriousness of this minute. But way back in the old days, there was a movie, the whole series about the Batman. Batman Forever was one where Jim Carrey played Ed Nygma. He became known as the Riddler in the movie. And Edward Nygma came up with a 3D box. And I thought this was a great way to explain exactly what Neuralink is trying to do. And like I said, this is back in the 90s, but you'll see what I'm talking about. Hit it.
Can be part of the action. Nigmatech brings the joy of 3D entertainment into your living room. Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you my vision. The box in every home in America and one day the world.
In local news, Edward Nygma's 3D box has become the rage of Gotham. Rioting occurred last night at electronics stores which were sold out. There's hardly a home without the Nygma Tech box. Critics have claimed the box turns Gothamites into zombies, but Edward Nygma just shrugs. That's what they said when TV was invented.
Edward Nygma, he wanted everybody to have a 3D box where he could take all the information out of their brains and he would have their knowledge. The only difference between Edward Nygma and Elon Musk is he doesn't want you to have a 3D box. He wants you to have a Neuralink telepathy device planted in your brain. Right there. Just like Revelation says. And I lost my, there we go. The next slide, dear. Let's go back to the other slide for a second. And, you know, I tell you what. No, let's go back to the other, the PowerPoint, please, ma'am. We'll come back. Yeah, there we go. Perfect. This is from Revelation chapter 13, the same verse we were reading a few minutes ago, and it's verses 13 and 14. And it, the beast, performed great signs, even causing fire to come down from heaven to earth in full view of the people. Because of the signs it was given power to perform on behalf of the first beast, it deceived the inhabitants of the earth. I really didn't have a whole lot of thought about Elon Musk being a bad dude. But Elon Musk is a bad dude. He is not, regardless of what your perception of him is, and I hope to change that in a minute if you think he's a great guy. But Elon has very much ulterior motives to what's going on. How many of you have watched anything of the SpaceX flight this week and the spacewalk and all that kind? Did you watch that? Yeah, you know, if you'll look right there, SpaceX Dragon spacecraft. Well, first of all, why would you name your spacecraft Dragon? Satan is the great dragon. The spacecraft set a new record for the highest orbits since we flew to the moon. The Polaris Dawn mission, led by SpaceX, achieved a significant milestone by taking 4 astronauts into orbit at 870 miles above the Earth. This is the highest orbit reached by humans in over 50 years, surpassing previous records and demonstrating the capabilities of private space travel. The crew is, actually, I typed this up before I saw the spacewalk. They've already done the spacewalk. The crew has done a bold private spacewalk, marking another achievement in the era of commercial space exploration. Now, what I'm going to let you see now is a video. Let me kind of give you a preface on this video. This video is going to show you several things. It's going to show you that what SpaceX is all about. It's going to show you the Dragon. Then it's going to show you a new UFO fighter. And I'm going to tell you, it says 3 weeks ago that this came out. I just saw the clip on it in the last 3 days. And Elon came out and talked about this thing. I mean, this week he's done a spacewalk. And then 3 weeks ago, he's come out with this new incredible fighter that's going to blow your mind. Hit it.
In a surprising turn of events, the Israel-Hamas conflict is now overshadowed by major technological news, as Israel and its allies reveal their new, advanced fighter jets with amazing capabilities and advanced features. Elon Musk's SpaceX makes headlines for something entirely different, launching a UFO and challenging the U.S. government.
Okay, notice as you see the word SpaceX, you'll see it come up on his shirt and all these spacecraft. Notice the X, the way the X is configured. And just take a good glance at that X and see what it reminds you of. We'll talk about it later. Keep going.
This new UFO has sparked global curiosity, raising questions about its technology and its potential impact on the conflict. What makes this UFO so unique? How would its presence affect the Israel-Hamas conflict? Join us as we unveil the capabilities of Elon Musk's UFO fighter jet that defies physics. Under Elon Musk, SpaceX has made great strides in space technology with 3 key...
Did you see what was on the side of that space capsule? A dragon, a picture of a dragon, the name Dragon. Why would you name your space capsule the Dragon? Hit it. Did we lose it? No. Uh-oh.
EVE Online is a vast universe, alive with the unrelenting activity and combined history of its players.
Start it again. Oh, there we go.
Pursuing lives of adventure, warfare, and prosperity.
Skip the ad there, girl. Thank you.
Key rockets. The Falcon 1, SpaceX's first rocket, was a breakthrough as it became the first privately funded liquid-fueled rocket to reach orbit. Although it was retired in 2009 after 5 launches, its success set the groundwork for SpaceX's future. The Falcon 9, a medium-lift rocket, has become essential for space, capable of carrying up to 22,800 kilograms into orbit. First launched in 2010, it has been updated over time with the Falcon 9 Block 5 introduced in 2018. A major innovation of the Falcon 9 is its reusable first stage, which can land, be recovered, and flown again.
Pause it right there.
SpaceX introduced the Falcon Heavy, a powerful...
And it, the beast, performed great signs, even causing fire to come down from heaven in full view of the people. Hit play.
That can carry up to 63,800 kilograms into low Earth orbit or 26,700 kilograms into a higher orbit. Its first mission in 2018 famously sent Elon Musk's Tesla Roadster into space, showing off the rocket's impressive capabilities. Looking ahead, SpaceX is developing Starship, a fully reusable rocket system. It includes the Super Heavy first stage and the Starship second stage, and is designed to be more advanced than current rockets, aiming for missions to the Moon, Mars, and beyond. SpaceX also makes various rocket engines, such as the Merlin, Kestrel, and Raptor. The Raptor engine, which uses liquid oxygen and methane, is especially important for powering the Starship system. Also, SpaceX's Dragon spacecraft, which transports cargo and astronauts to the International Space Station, has advanced with the new Dragon 2 model. This updated spacecraft completed its first crewed flight in 2020, helping keep people aboard the ISS. Asides the Falcon, Elon Musk has also developed something magnificent. In the midst of chaos, Elon Musk's bold approach has led to the creation of a real UFO, the X-1, closely monitored by the U.S. government. This remarkable craft, developed through years of effort and teamwork at SpaceX, reaches a hypersonic speed of 4,600 miles per hour and boasts impressive fuel efficiency. Musk's move into advanced aerospace technology raises interesting questions about how innovation intersects with global politics and conflicts. The X-1's uniqueness extends to its groundbreaking camouflage technology, rendering it practically invisible as it glides through the sky disguised as a cloud. The Pentagon's bewilderment, initially mistaking it for a UFO, and subsequently launching fighter jets in pursuit, adds a layer of suspense to this cosmic saga. Elon Musk's penchant for secrecy in the development of the X-1 triggered confusion in the Hamas camp, leaving the militants at odds with the visionary entrepreneur. What makes the X-1 so remarkable is that it is the only aircraft equipped with a compact space shuttle engine, previously only seen on the Hawk hypersonic missile developed by SpaceX. This missile can reach an astounding speed of over 4,600 miles per hour, bypassing all modern missile defense systems. Now this engine powers the new X-1, which also boasts a design improvement that reduces fuel consumption by 30%. The spacecraft has reduced fuel use by 30%, surpassing traditional military technology. It also uses microwave technology, similar to something from a sci-fi movie, which can melt enemy aircraft or disrupt their electronics. This could change the way modern warfare is conducted. There's another fascinating application for this system. When the radiation is toned down and aimed at a person, 83% of the energy is absorbed by the top layer of skin, creating a sensation like being dipped in molten metal. This unbearable feeling would make anyone want to flee the area instantly, abandoning their tank or equipment, which could then be easily captured. This would be a game-changing asset for the U.S. military, but as it stands, the Pentagon and Elon Musk are at odds over the technology. The tension between them only adds more intrigue to the situation. While Musk sees it as a potential strategic weapon, the military establishment remains cautious, sparking a nuanced debate on the role of such advanced technology in modern conflict. Despite the tension between the military and Musk, the X-1 keeps blowing minds. With its stealth technology that avoids radar detection, it can reach an incredible altitude of 105,000 feet, even higher than the famous SR-71 Blackbird. This mix of speed, invisibility, and high altitude could transform space travel and change how air defense systems operate. However, like every other aircraft ever created, the X-1 isn't invulnerable. To challenge this high-flying craft, supersonic missiles are needed. Here, the F-35 Lightning II and F-22 Raptor come into play with their advanced technology. Despite their strength, the F-35 and F-22 struggle to keep up, as the X-1 zooms at 4,600 miles per hour, while the F-35 only reaches 1,200 miles per hour. While an F-35 is still en route, the X-1 would already have reached its target, destroyed it, and returned to base without needing to refuel. The developer revealed their intention to build a fighter for the 21st century that could take on all of the advanced threats. The F-35 and F-22 do have powerful weapons. AM-120 hypersonic missiles that travel at Mach 4, reaching up to 3,100 miles per hour. However, these missiles can only maintain their speed for about half an hour, which makes the battle an intense and high-stakes challenge. The X-1, on the other hand, is different in terms of its armaments. It'll destroy targets with a very unusual weapon. A microwave system is an installation that emits electromagnetic vibrations in the millimeter wave range. These waves, directed at an object, affect...
If you don't want to open your third eye, then don't watch this video.
Hang on.
This method isn't for everyone.
All right.
If
affected like a laser, but in a much wider range. Microwave radiation at full power can literally melt an enemy aircraft. But most often, this system is used to turn off all electronics and turn a fighter jet into a pile of flying scrap metal. The mission of the aircraft was to be half of what the Air Force called the high-low mix. One of the X-1's features that makes it stand out is its ability to reach astonishing heights. Using an engine typically found in space launchers, the X-1 can soar up to 105,000 feet. It also has one of the strongest microwave systems, which can interfere with equipment and people. The jet also has advanced camouflage that makes it almost invisible to radar and the naked eye, blending into the sky like a cloud. The tale of the technological excellence also needs to recognize the crucial role of skilled pilots. Fighter jets aren't just machines. They are flown by experts who can outthink any SpaceX operator flying the X-1. The combination of advanced technology and human skill makes the aerial competition more complex and exciting. The situation changes when considering altitude. The X-1 stands out with its ability to reach astonishing heights. Using an engine typically found in space launchers, the X-1 can soar up to 105,000 feet. It can easily reach extremely high altitudes, while the F-22 Raptor, though very agile, only reaches 72,000 feet, making it less competitive at higher levels. Adding the X-1's microwave weapon raises the stakes even further. Although the F-22's impressive maneuvers might help it evade danger when things get intense. Previously, the only United States aircraft capable of reaching such altitudes was the SR-71 Blackbird, which lacked attack capabilities. To avoid being caught by flying very high and fast, its radar-evading tricks in dark color made it hard to track. Even when targeted by missiles, it could often outrun or dodge them. At that same height, the X-1 is untouchable by air defense systems, giving it an edge over the Blackbird. The only way to take it down would be with a fighter jet that can get close enough to launch a supersonic missile. The U.S. has such aircraft, namely the F-35 Lightning II and F-22 Raptor, both of which are formidable opponents. Besides exploring space, SpaceX has launched projects like Starlink, a satellite network aimed at providing affordable internet worldwide. By December 2022, Starlink had over 1 million subscribers, though some astronomers have raised concerns about light pollution. Elon Musk's efforts also include humanitarian work. In 2018...
All right. Skylink, the last thing they threw in there, this happened 2 days ago. United Airlines said we are hooking up with Elon Musk in this Skylink thing. Starlink thing. And basically what he's got over 6,000 satellites in place that cover the entire globe, pole to pole. There's not any place on this globe that is not covered by his satellite systems. Therefore, United want to be part of this so they can offer free Wi-Fi to all the people in their flight system. Now, just think about that for a second. If you've got all these satellites in place, and you've got all these people that have some kind of chip in their brain, in their arm, whatever the case might be, there's nowhere to run and there's nowhere to hide. He can find you anywhere he wants to because he has the capability with these satellites. And what threw me a curveball on this quote-unquote new X-1 fighter jet is this technology that when it's applied to people, make you feel like your body's on fire. Does that not sound like some of the opening of the seals and all that kind of stuff in Revelation? Flip the next screen, please, dear. And the question I asked myself after I got deeper and deeper, and I'm like, is Elon Musk the Antichrist? And I'm not the only person who has asked that question. Elon Musk is the richest man on earth. He has an obsession with the letter X. Did you notice that X, the way it was written on SpaceX? It looks like an upside down cross. We'll get back to that in a minute. His son is named X, or one of his sons. He owns SpaceX, whose current space capsule is the Dragon. He purchased Twitter and immediately renamed it to X. Could this be because X reminds us of the cross? He said he would make the lame to walk and the blind to see with Neuralink. He brought fire down from heaven with his SpaceX booster landings. Now, we're going to flip a screen here and we're going to take a look at his Halloween costume from last year. And you say, Dan, why do we care what Elon's Halloween costume was from last year? I don't know how well you can see that, but if you just get home, when you get home, just pull it up. Just Google Elon's 2023 Halloween costume. That is the goat head right there. What does the goat head represent? Satan. I wish I could zoom that in. I cannot zoom that in for you, but in dead center of the goat head's forehead is an upside down crucifix. Oh, good job. Thank you, sir. Can you see it now? That upside down crucifix in the center of the goat head? Maybe he just has a fixation with wanting to be the Antichrist. I don't know. But I'm not going to wear a costume like that is very much sacrilegious and pretend to be Satan. Now, the answer to the question, in my humble opinion, is that he is not the Antichrist, big A. Let's read a little scripture, and then we're going to close this thing down. Dear children, this is the last hour. As you have heard that the Antichrist, little a, is coming, even now many Antichrists have come. That's 1 John 2:18. We're actually working in 1 John right now on Sunday morning. I do not write you because you do not know the truth, but because you do know it, and because no lie comes from the truth. Who is the liar? It is whoever denies that Jesus is the Christ. Such a person is the Antichrist, little a, denying the Father and the Son. So I believe that Elon is not the Antichrist, big A, but he is an Antichrist, little a. There have been many of those. Nero, Julius Caesar, Hitler, Mao Zedong. All those people are Antichrist, little a's. But the last subject we're going to touch on, flip on please, dear, is artificial intelligence. And now I'm going to turn it over to Mr. Jeff Kinley. And we're going to read some of his quotes, and hopefully this will spur you into coming back on October the 7th and bringing some friends, because Jeff knows more about this. He's forgotten more about this than I'll ever know. But anyway, Jeff Kinley said one of the biggest concerns is that artificial intelligence replaces human intelligence. We are moving as a society towards replacing humanity in just about every way possible. Replacing human labor, human thought, human writing, trying to pretty much put humanity into the margins of the narrative here. He continued and said, but the thing about AI that is so frightening, or potentially frightening, is that there's talk of this bioengineering, these nanorobots implanting with humanity. Neuralink, that's what he's talking about. The eschatological expert, that's Jeff Kinley, he knows eschatology, said the idea of that people would essentially have interfaced or be intermingled with technology in such a way is deeply troubling, particularly when it comes to surveillance or the misuse of surveillance. Next screen, please. Minds can be hacked. The biggest concern, this is again a quote from Jeff Kinley, the biggest concern about that is that humans will now, according to those experts in the field, they'll be able to read our emotions, a.k.a. Edward Nigma, just like in Batman Forever. They'll be able to read our minds. Come back on October the 7th to hear the man, Jeff Kinley, the real expert on this stuff. And I want to close with this. I'm a premillennial guy. I believe we're going to be gone. I believe the rapture will occur then. 7 years of tribulation. But, here's the thing. One of my favorite preachers is Dr. David Jeremiah. And he said back a few months ago when he was doing a sermon on the end times. By the way, he's doing one now. You might want to catch it. He started a sermon series on the millennial reign. The first one was awesome today. But anyway, this is a few months ago. He was doing a sermon series on the end times, Jesus coming and all that kind of stuff. And he said, I have read all my life in Daniel, Ezekiel, all Apostle Paul's writings, what Jesus said about end times and the Revelation. I've read it all. And I always believed it because that's what the Bible said. And so therefore I believed it. But now when I open the paper or turn on the computer or turn on the news, now I can see how it actually can happen. We're in a different time and age, folks. I'm telling you, things are moving at warp speed. And Dr. Jeremiah said this morning. He said, think about it. We literally could be 7 to 10 years away from the millennial reign of Christ. We get raptured out, tribulation for 7 years. Christ comes back, sets his foot down on Mount Olives, puts Satan, binds him for 1,000 years, and then heaven on earth for 1,000 years. It's going to be glorious. It's going to be awesome. And I'm so glad that I believe what I believe, that we're not going to be here. But let's just close with these words, and my wife will be happy because I got us out of here on time. Put on the full armor of God. Finally, be strong in the Lord and in his mighty power. Put on the full armor of God so that you can take your stand against the devil's schemes. Ephesians 6, 10, and 11. Jesus is Lord. We're in a battle, folks. It's, it is what it is. Dr. Jeremiah called it the birth pangs. We're seeing the birth pangs. Women know, you know what I'm talking about. Before the baby comes, you have the birth pain. And that's what we're seeing. And we need to be very wise, yet very gentle. And we need to be telling the good news everywhere we go, every single day. The altar's open for whatever you choose to do tonight. But just remember, as we sing this song, God will take care of you. Come on up, Miss Joy. That we're his church. He's not going to let anything happen to his church. He loves his bride. He will protect his bride with his life because he gave his life for his bride. So just remember that. But signs of the times are everywhere. Let's stand together as we sing. God will take care of you. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Be not dismayed, whate'er betide, God will take care of you. Beneath his wings of love abide, God will take care of you. God will take care of you through every day or all the way. He will take care of you. God will take care of you through days of toil when heart doth fail. God will take care of you. When dangers fears your path assail, God will take care of you. God will take care of you through every day or all the way. He will take care of you. God will take care of you.
Appreciate y'all coming tonight. Appreciate y'all putting up with me. I just like this stuff. It's cool to me. But it gets your attention. And I woke up several times this week thinking about this stuff, thinking like, man, so many people just don't know what's going on around about them. Spread the good news and make sure everybody that you know, your friends, your family, your neighbors, make sure they're safe. Brother Glenn, would you lead us in our closing prayer?